guys hear that? I don't know what that sound is. Well, g'day guys, and welcome back to the beautiful Australian bush. So camping in the mountains this weekend on an overnight camp. We're going to be exploring this beautiful river, and I've also got my fly fishing rod with me as well. So hopefully there's a few trout hanging around. We are in the middle of spring, the bugs are starting to come out, so it'd be nice to catch a trout off the surface and cook one up for dinner. But yeah, I'm just getting all my gear ready now, so we'll chuck the backpack on and we'll start making our way down the river. Now, one of the main issues is the section of river I want to fish. I have to walk downstream because the only access point is just over there, so not ideal. It means it's going to be pretty easy to spook the fish. So I'm going to have to try and sort of, I guess, stay wide of the river. When I see a good little spot, try and come around the back of them and hopefully I don't spook them. Well, I haven't seen a single trout yet. I saw a few carp just before, but no trout. I mean, how beautiful is like this section just here. This tree is gorgeous. It's on its own little island. But where are all the fish? Well, not much luck so far. I have not seen a single trout. Yeah, I saw a bunch of carp before, but not a trout to be seen. Don't know where they are. Like, I fished this river about a year and a half ago, but that was probably about 5 k's further down river, and there was heaps of trout that trip, so I don't know where they've gone. But yeah, still got the dry fly on at the moment. I'm going to keep that on for a bit, and just fingers crossed I eventually come across some trout. But worst case scenario, I do have some woolly buggers, so I could always chuck one of those on and fish for the carp. And I've actually never fished for carp and fly. I've actually heard they're meant to be really fun. So worst case scenario, we can go for the carp, but let's just keep our fingers crossed for a trout. All right, well, I've hooked myself. Oh, there we go. And that's why you should always debarb your hooks. Because if they left that barb on, that would have been an absolute punish to get back out, but they just slid back out. Well, after seeing this, I think I'm definitely going to be filtering or boiling my water. Looks like a dead kangaroo. The aquatic life would have been absolutely stoked to feast on that carcass. I've just come up from the river, got that water hole just down behind me. I've just popped up in the bush just to have a look around. And man, it is so beautiful up here. It's like really nice, open, grassy bushland. It's gorgeous. Man, this is a beautiful spot for camp. Got a nice big water hole and a really big gravel bank. Definitely not a bad option. But I think we're going to keep walking up the river another, maybe like K or 2. And if there's nothing better, we can always come back here. can see about 3 goats around the corner. Let's see if we can sneak up on them. I'm about 40 meters away from them. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. They have no idea I'm here. I can see about 6. That was really cool. I definitely got within a bow range if I was hunting them. That's some really beautiful looking goats. That's some really nice colours on them. Very, very cool. Well, that was a really cool stalk. Got pretty close to them. I guess while we're on the topic of hunting, some of you guys would have saw in the video I did a couple months back that I was keen to get into hunting. I actually went and did a beginner course at Broadside hunting in the Hunter Valley. And I actually went back about a month ago and did my advanced course. So I went through the process of getting all my licenses, like my hunting license, firearms license. Pretty stoked to say that I was successful in taking my first fallow deer. It was honestly such an incredible experience. It was a perfect hunt. I could not ask for it to be any better for my first hunt. I got within about 40 or 45 meters of the deer. It was a perfect shot straight through the vitals. It literally dropped on the spot and it was out cold. So I could not ask for a better, more ethical hunt. And yeah, it was just a really awesome course to get up there with those guys and do it for my first one. So it was a good feeling to finally get an animal on the ground. It's something I've been wanting to do for about the last 10 years. So I've been going through that process of I used to be a vegetarian and then I got back to eating meat, and I thought, since I'm going to eat meat, I need to be able to prove to myself that I can actually do it, and I finally have done that. So I've got 15 kilos worth of venison in the freezer at home, and it's a good feeling. There's so many deer on that property as well. So yeah, it was a really cool experience, and stoked I finally have ticked that box. And there's just so much to learn getting into that hunting world. So really keen to sort of dive into it over the coming years, and I think it's just going to be something that I'm going to do for pretty much the rest of my life. So it felt completely natural. When I took the shot, there was a lot of emotions running through me, but I was extremely calm, which is kind of surprising for me. I do get the shake sometimes, and I thought I was going to be sort of shaking, but I was extremely calm, took the shot, animal dropped, and it just felt extremely natural for me. And to be honest, actually kind of as I'm sort of walking down this river, fly fishing, it kind of reminds me of fly fishing. So just stalking the fish and sort of trying to be nice and quiet. And yeah, I find there's a good parallel between the two. And even if you're not hunting, now that I kind of know the process of how to sort of stalk an animal, just stalking up on those goats was pretty cool. I saw them about 100 meters out, and I had the sort of wind on my left side, so they weren't getting winded by me. And so I managed to sort of use the terrain and using the trees to sort of hide my shape, and managed to get within about 40 meters of them. So yeah, it's a cool feeling now that I kind of get the grasp of how to sort of sneak up on an animal. So even if I'm not hunting it, it's cool just to kind of get nice and close to it. So yeah, obviously I know there's a lot of you guys that aren't really keen on the whole hunting thing, which I definitely understand. Like I said, I used to be that person a long time ago, but like I said, going through the process, understanding sort of what's sort of involved in that sort of hunting world, I've definitely changed my opinion, and now that I've actually done it, it feels extremely natural. So yeah, really keen to dive into that world of the coming years. Alright, so it's about 1:30, so we're going to have some lunch. And today for lunch I just got one of these tuna and rice things. Usually when I'm out bush, I generally have a pretty simple lunch. I usually mostly have biltong or some nuts or like a little protein bar, but I thought I'd give one of these things a go. It's actually pretty tasty. Man, I don't know where the fish are, eh? I haven't seen a single trout. I'm really surprised, because when I sort of did this about a year and a half ago, I did a trip sort of like about 2 kilometers from where I am now. That's sort of that's where I camped, and I came in from a different direction, and there's heaps of trout that trip. I caught a trout, did a little catch and cook, and saw heaps swimming around. And this trip I can't see a single one. I don't know what the cause is. See heaps of carp, but yeah, no trout. So I don't know whether, like, the river does seem a little bit low, so I don't know whether they sort of like maybe moved a little bit further downstream, or I have absolutely no idea. I thought for sure I would have come across some trout by now. A little bit frustrating, to be honest. I was really keen for a little trout catch and cook. I think on the way back I might change up the fly to woolly bugger, and yeah, may as well just give the carp fishing a go. It'd be pretty cool to catch a carp on the fly, so we'll give that a crack. Well, I just laid down for a quick little rest after lunch and end up having a half-hour siesta. So it's about 2:30 now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our way back and probably camp at that really nice spot that I saw earlier on. And I've just changed over to a woolly bugger. So on the way back, if we see any carp, we'll have a fish for them as well. I can't believe how close they're letting me get to them. You think since she's got a kid that they would have like screamed the first moment I saw her. Man, this river is full of carp. Have a look at them all. So I've just hiked up on top of this rocky outcrop just to get a good view of the river. And have a look what I found. It's a memorial plaque. Give you guys a bit of a gaze. So it reads, "In loving memory of Edward Ted Morrison, born the 8th of the 3rd, 1923 to the 30th of the 10th, 2020. He was almost 100 years old. 97 years old. Mate, that is a good innings. So happiness is the simple joy of sitting with loved ones and watching the water rises." He loved this spot. And a little fly fishing dude. Man, that is awesome. Rest in peace, Teddy. And tell you what, mate, this is a bloody good spot. I have to agree with you. We've got another plaque over here as well. It's pretty hard to sort of make out what it says. Looks a fair bit older. I think it reads, "William Browning Fletcher, the 4th of the 2nd, 1917 to the 5th of the 10th, 1988. And it's got a little poem. It says, "Home is the sailor, home from the sea, and the hunter home from the hill." Man, that is awesome. Well, rest in peace, fellas. I can definitely see where you guys like this spot. It is an absolute cracker. Man, that's awesome. Such a cool little find. I love finding little memorials when you're out in the bush. It's always cool to think that other people appreciate these little places just as much as you do. Now, I don't know where I'm going to have my plaque when I eventually kick the bucket. I've got that many favourite little spots. It's definitely going to be hard to choose. Well, I think we found camp for the night. It's a nice little spot next to the river. We've got a pretty flat section up there where we can put the tent. Obviously it is camping on gravel, so it's not exactly the most comfortable thing to camp on. But like we could duck up into the bush because there is like some nice grassy spots up there, but just being down here is so much prettier next to the river. And also, as always, got to think of the thumbnail. It's going to look much nicer down here. But yeah, we're not meant to get any rain tonight, so I'm not really worried about the river rising, and also we're a little bit elevated there as well. So I think we'll get the tent set up, and then we'll go for a bit of a fish and see if we can catch one of those carp a bit later as well. Alright, so for my tent and my sleep gear, I'm using the Durston X-Mid 1. I've got a Cedar Summit Etherlight XT insulated mat. I've got the Neve Gear Waratah quilt, which is rated to 0 degrees, and 2 Cedar Summit Eros pillows. Alright, already I can see some pretty big carp down there. But they're amongst all the snags. There's a big fallen log just there. There's heaps of carp over there. But I'm worried if I was to cast out there, if I was to hook up, they're just going to run underneath this log and it's going to bust me off. So it's a little bit tricky, to be honest. Not quite sure how to tackle this. Gosh, these guys are huge. That is an absolute monster. How do we do this? Alright, so I've come over to the other side of the bank. So hopefully we can get in their zone. So they'll hang around here just before. Man, there's so many carp swimming around me. They're absolute monsters. Unfortunately, they don't really want this fly. If only I had a bow and arrow. They actually made a carp bow fishing legal, I think, like the year before last. I'm actually half keen to give it a go. Oh, they'd be so easy to get with a bow and arrow. And because we've got so many in this river, it'd actually be a good way to sort of help reduce the population. Oh, there's a carp right there. Come on, mate, come on. They're just not interested. The fly is literally on top of his head right now. Come on. Come on. Oh. Nah, that fly was literally like about 5 centimeters from his mouth and he still didn't go it. So we might wrap it up, might go back. We're starting to lose the light. It'd be nice to get some firewood collected and you get the fire going. Alright, so we're going to get the fire started with the ferro rod. This one's by Survival Supplies Australia. I think it's called the Dragon Breath. I've been using it for ages. It's a really good little ferro rod. If you guys want to check it out, there's a link in the description below, which will take you to my website that shows you all my gear. Now, the trick with ferro rods is you see a lot of people actually sort of do this, where they're pushing the striker down, and then when they tend to get a little flame, they tend to extinguish the flame because they sort of squash it out with the striker. So the trick is you actually want to keep this striker nice and steady. So if you place your hand on your foot, keep that nice and steady, and then if you pull the ferro rod towards you while keeping this steady, that way you're not going to put out the flame. So that's the trick to it. Now I've just got some nice dry grass here. There we go. I've just got some bracken fern, some dead bracken fern. Alright, we know what time it is. Beer o'clock. Tonight we got Stonerwood and Young Henry's gin and tonic. I feel like I haven't had gin and tonic out in the bush for a bloody long time, so Bought these cans, they are bloody delicious, but I'm going to save that for once it gets dark. So yeah, going to start off with a stone of wood. Cheers guys. I think this drink goes to our mates Teddy and William. Rest easy fellas, it's a bloody good spot. Well, this ain't exactly the comfiest ground to sit on. I've got some pretty exciting news I want to chat to you guys about. So yesterday on the drive out here, I actually stopped in and saw the guys from Whippa. And Whippa is the backpack brand I've been using for the last couple of months, and they're based in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains. So Rob from Whippa gave me a call a couple of months ago, and he was keen enough to jump on board and be an ongoing sponsor of the channel, which I'm super excited about because they're a great company to work with. I stopped in yesterday to see them. We're actually going to start developing my own backpack, and we're hoping to release that early next year sometime, like maybe around February or March. But yeah, we stopped in yesterday to sort of nut out a few of the design features and what kind of fabrics we want to use and the colors and things like that. So we're going to start prototyping that pretty soon. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Like, I've been wanting to make a backpack for a bloody long time, and they're honestly like the perfect company to team up with because all the backpacks are handmade in Katoomba in the Blue Mountains, which is absolutely awesome to see some Australian manufacturing. There's not many people around who still make backpacks in Australia. I'm pretty sure they're like the only one. And yeah, they're just a great company to work with. Like, everyone I've met at that company is just absolute legends, and they make a really good quality product. So I think they're the perfect company to team up with as like an ongoing sponsor of the channel, and yeah, really keen to see what we can develop. So super excited about that. I've always been very sort of picky about who I take on as sponsors. Like, I've been doing this channel for nearly, gosh, like 6.5 or 7 years or something like that. And I've only ever taken on 2 sponsors in the past. I've only ever had Off Grid and Cedar Summit sponsor a couple of videos, like earlier this year, just to, just to fund the Kimberley trip I did. But apart from that, I haven't taken on any sponsors. So when Rob rang me up, I was sort of like very sort of, wasn't hesitant, but I was very sort of like choosy about who I sort of take on. And after chatting to him and seeing kind of the products that he makes and the fact that they're all locally made, I knew that it was just a big tick and that it's the kind of company that I wanted to team up with. So very excited about that. So if you guys want to support my channel, please check out Whippa, because by you guys supporting them, it goes a long way in supporting me. And like I said, I think you guys will definitely like their gear, and yeah, really keen to see what we can develop. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But I'm pretty keen to get some grub into us. Unfortunately, didn't get a fish today, so we're just going to have to settle for some off-grid meals, but I think it's still going to be pretty tasty. So let's get that on the fire. Alright, so for dinner we're going to have these off-grid provision meals, and I've got the Wagyu Bolognese and the potato and salt bush. Now usually you're meant to sort of put this pouch in like a boiling water, like a jet boil, to heat it up, but I'm actually just going to empty the contents into these pans, and we'll just heat it up over the fire. I've done it before, and it's yeah, nice and easy way to do it. Oh, already that smells so good. That is delicious. Yum. Oh, come on. Alright, so I just stopped from the tent, looked into the bush, and I could see these little eyes, and I saw them kind of like bouncing around, and I thought it might have been some rabbits, because I thought I saw some rabbit burrows earlier on. But I just started to get a little bit closer, and they're like little puppies. I don't think they're foxes, I think they're like little dingo pups. I'll try and see if I can get close to them. There's about like 4 or 5 of them, and I couldn't see Mum, so I don't know where Mum is. But man, that's crazy. I'll see if I can film them. So they're just up there. I don't know if you can see the eyes. I'll try and get closer. Doesn't look like a fox. It looks like a dog, like a dingo. But I can't see where Mum is. Very cute. I should probably leave him in peace. I don't want Mum to come out and attack me. That was rad. That was really cool. I didn't get the entire litter, going to see that main one, but when I went up there before without the camera, I definitely saw about 4 or 5. I think they're hiding behind that tree there. Really cool. Like, I'm almost certain they're a dingo. They've got a little bit of sort of darkness to them, but I have seen dingoes that are sort of all different kind of colours, like do have sort of darker fur on them. So yeah, really cool. Had a little white tip on their tail, so I don't know if that means anything. When I was doing that hunting course back in October, yeah, the second day we went out for another hunt, like a purebred dingo, like it looked as dingo as anything. It had like sort of like orangey fur, or that kind of like straw colour fur, and it was probably only about 15 metres away from us, 20 metres away from us, and it was really inquisitive. It just like kept sort of like walking through the grass and stopping and looking at us. And Eamon, the guy I was with, he was sort of doing like little fox calls and deer calls just to get its attention, and it would just like sort of perk its head up and just look around. And yeah, really cool. Like, I honestly love dingoes, eh? Like, I know some people don't like them, especially like farmers and things, but man, they're just such a cool animal. We don't really have too many animals like that in Australia. That's pretty much our apex predator. And yeah, really cool. It's just a shame that we got so much 1080 poison. Like, even where I parked my car today, at the end of the national park, there was signs for 1080 poison. So if one of those things eats one of those poison, it is just such a horrible death. So that's the main reason I don't bring Banjo out camping. So, which is quite a shame, because I'd love to get my dog out here more often, but there's just that many bloody 1080 poisons around, and the last thing you want is for your dog to pick one of those up. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the morning. You guys hear that? That just... What is that? That just gave me the biggest chills. Oh man, my hairs on the back of my head just like stood up. It's coming from over there. I don't know what that sound is. Is that a dingo? I've never heard a dog make a sound like that. I think it stops. If you guys know what that is, please leave a comment. This is going to be an interesting night. I think I might be sleeping with my knife pretty close to me. See you guys in the morning. Oh, they're so creepy. Well, good morning. Man, that was a good sleep. Honestly, had probably one of the best sleeps I've had out in the bush in a very long time. No visits from any dingoes last night, or any yowies or anything like that. So yeah, it was a good night. Woke up in the middle of the night to go hang a leak, and the stars were just absolutely beaming. It was beautiful. It's one thing I hate about living sort of like in the suburbs of Sydney, is you just don't get to see the stars like you do out here, which is a bloody shame. But for brekkie this morning, we're gonna get some pancakes going. We've got some pancakes with banana and just some strawberries. And I'm just gonna cook it up on a little twig stove. I'm just going to put some chopped up banana in it. Alright, so camp's all packed up and I've just poured a few litres of water onto that fire just to make sure it's well and truly out. Now we're going to start making our way back, and yeah, still got the fly rod set up, so hopefully we can come across a few fish, and it'd just be nice to get one on the tally board before I leave, but we'll see how we go. Well guys, we got skunked in the fishing, but it was still a great little overnight camp. Exploring one of my favourite rivers, beautiful little campsite, lots of wildlife, but you know, unfortunately the trout weren't cooperating. I don't know where the bloody hell they've gone. Like I said, when I've been here before, there was plenty of trout, and now I can't even see a single one. And unfortunately, there's a lot of carp around. So if any of you guys who fish this river a lot know where the trout are, feel free to shoot me a message and give me some intel, because yeah, I'm absolutely stumped. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to give a massive shout out to all my Patreon supporters, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hooroo.